That's perfect. That works.
All right. I just got the countdown from Pete R.
Oh,
And
geez.
I think we are live now. Brian, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. Are we live? Are we
I
sure we're live?
I guess so. Yeah, I got the text and everything. I was
All
told
right.
we are now live. So
All right. I did not know if it was, I got the YouTube stream up on the one screen. I didn't know if we were going to be embedded in that or if it's just how this is going. So, um,
I feel bad for
oh, there we are. I just have to hit the live button. There you go. I'm an idiot. All right. We're good. We're good.
I feel bad for the Discord folks. The use of the everyone chat link or tag has been a little copious lately. My apologies, but hey,
It's,
my name
it's
is
day one. It's day
yeah,
one.
it
What do
is.
you
We're
expect?
working out the kinks still. So hey, everybody who's here, and I'm sure we could do another introduction when the draft is a little bit closer. But just in case you're new to the RFHL, or just in case you're Bob Haynes on the over 50 team and have a little bit of memory issues, my name is 2.0. I'm joined tonight for the draft show with my great, amazing partner in crime, whatever you want to call him, because we've been on a couple teams together. We've been hanging out, doing a lot of podcasts, a lot of chatting leading up to this mock drafts galore. I got Brian D'Angelo with me tonight, guys. Brian,
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to it. Should be a good go here.
this is going to be a good draft. I even have, I've even got my RFHL tee.
You know what? My biggest regret this offseason is I didn't do the Winter Classic and get one of those bad boys. I do have, just to be in the spirit.
So I've got the tee tonight for the RFHL.
I got my Gatorade.
Stay hydrating already. And
Yeah. Can never be hydrated enough.
yeah, it's funny because anybody who's been on my team in the more recent seasons has probably heard me go on and on and on about making sure you hydrate all day before your game. And even some of the masturbators last season were probably getting a little flustered every time I reminded them that if you drink a lot of coffee, you got to also still hydrate even more. So hydrate is good, and your Gatorade is going to do that for you for this draft. It's going to be an exciting draft, I think. A lot of
I'm
rookies.
look. I know a lot of rookies. Now I didn't get to see. I mean, I saw a little bit of the rookie game. Couldn't tell who anybody was. So the good thing is we've done a lot of pre-draft analysis based off of what our RFHL insiders could find out via Facebook. So we got a lot of good recon on these rookies. We think we have recon on them, so we'll go over that once they hit the draft. It looks like we have. That can't be the first pick, is it?
Oh, am I not seeing the picks? Where I'm not seeing a screen share right now. Are you seeing the draft?
I am seeing the draft just because I have YouTube playing live. No,
Okay.
somebody. I have YouTube playing live, so I don't like. I mean, we're slightly delayed on the YouTube,
Yes.
so
I'm gonna
our
pull that.
picks are going to be. We're going to be a little bit behind, I think, but I
Yeah,
think somebody's
that's
just testing here, right?
it could be, and I'm gonna do the same so I can see what you're talking about. Because for those of you who are new to the draft show here, so the draft is happening live immediately following the rookie game at the school. All the captains have now convened, usually on the stage somewhere. They might be in the cafeteria, nasium, whatever we want to call that other bonus room at the school. Either way, the captains are gathering right now, and what they are likely up to is getting the lay of the land, getting a reminder of how the draft works. It's a snake draft, rounds 1 through 6. And then the seventh round, the remaining 8 players for the seventh round, it is randomly drawn. So the captain's names will be randomly drawn. And then for each of the drawings, they then get to pick next for who they want to draft among the remaining 8 players. So it's a snake draft, and anybody who's watching at home can see the draft happening live as well, because the names will be populating onto the draft sheet. So if you're watching this on the YouTube live, you should be seeing both of us talking, and then you should be also seeing the chart up top. And for a reminder, for anybody who didn't catch the messages before, Brian and I are also going to be watching the Discord general channel as a live chat. For anybody who wants to chime in, give us your thoughts on different picks. Tell us, what you think about the draft so far. Don't forget to tell Brian he's got a little sourdough bread in his beard. Whatever you got to do in that chat, you just let us know, and we'll be following it as live as best as possible.
Well, the latest I'm hearing from the draft is that PR is jacking with us, and that this may be actually Bill Smith's daughter's draft that is there. And I mean, I'm not upset here. I mean, that's the highest I've ever gone in the draft, is third overall. I mean, beating LeDuc out, I'll take it. It's a big moment for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah,
looks like the board's been cleared.
Hang on a second, bud.
That is
working on something.
Each team in the Discord has a team channel, and if you haven't heard by now, the Firestorms, which was 2 seasons ago now, the chat is still not only lively, but outpacing the general chat by thousands of messages.
I think we probably hit 16,000 today chats in that chat. General, I believe, only has about less than 7,000. We'll get above 8,000 probably today after the draft here. So yeah, there's been a lot of chatter. I have done 6.10 mock drafts so far. All of them were busted with Bill Smith's daughter's picks there. None of mine lined up with that.
I've got to take care
of it. So yeah, that was what I was explaining, was that we've many of the Firestormers and others have been doing mock drafts. It's a little bit of a kind of a growing trend to do some mock drafts with the draft coming up every season. And so this season, Bill Smith and Kenton both had, without context or explanation whatsoever, had given their children a chance to do a mock draft, and there was some interesting teams that came together.
It was a lot of fun to see. So, well, I mean, talking about real draft here, what do we think? I mean, I think most of our mock drafts had definitely the top 2 the same. There was a lot of back and forth between what went between 3 and 5, and then man, the amount of things that happen at the turn. There's so many options that can happen. We always talk about when the goalie run's going to happen. Are people going to panic? What's going to go about here? What are your thoughts, Stu? What do you think is this going to net out as?
So I'll say the same thing that I say every single season, whether I'm a captain or not. And I don't know if it was maybe the influence of last season's draft and how well that might have gone for me and my team. If you don't know, but I had a lot of captains asking me, picking my brain about how to think about the draft, or how I approached the draft. And one of the things I tell everybody is that I'll do a couple of different mocks. One might be a mock where I think all of a sudden the goalies start going like crazy and people draft goalies. The other mock might be what would happen if a pick that is very usually in this round or this round goes early or falls farther. And I think everybody who's been a part of the league for more than a couple seasons has come to realize that when you see the draft happening, there's always 1 or 2 wild card moments that really change the direction of the draft. And what you have to do as a captain is kind of be ready for that change of direction.
So, when do you think that change of direction happens here?
If you're gonna put me on the spot, I'm gonna say that I think the someone has some feedback. It's duplicating our voices. It might be from keeping the YouTube open. So Peter has told us there's a link to the Google Doc in Discord, the broadcast channel for you and I, Brian.
Okay.
Click on that.
I have requested access with it. I do have the YouTube link. I have muted, so I don't think it's on my end.
Hang on a second.
I did as well, but just for the sake of safe,
I will close it out.
So in the meantime, and I requested access, Peter, if you're listening at home.
Let us in.
to answer your question, I think that the inflection point for this draft is most certainly going to be, as usual, the goalies. And I think that you might see a run on goalies. More of my mocks than not had a large run on goalies fairly early. Not trying to name specifics. I'm always very careful about avoiding inserting any kind of bias or anything. But I certainly think that the first goalie off the board is going to cascade a run on goalies. So how that shakes out, I don't know, or when that first goalie comes off. I think that most captains have a sense that they've got an idea of who they want and hope to have in net. And I think, the round loss and the draft order and the way that we do that, it adds the perfect amount of parity every season. It balances out the captain skills. It's really dialed in, and it's a tried and true method for this league to have a good parity among all the teams. So I think as soon as you see that first goalie off the board, it's gonna change the way some people think about the pick they were going to be making next. What about you, Brian? I mean, what do you think?
I'm just I keep hearing that we have some technical difficulties here, so I'm just texting Kenton right now, actually in Fireside. So bear with us. I want to make sure that we can actually be able to be heard properly here. Let me see. All right, Kenton says he thinks it's gone. We still do not have access to the board, though, unless I guess we can reopen the YouTube since he made it sound like that wasn't the issue. Yeah, you know what? I honestly think my gut is that we're going to start seeing goalies around round 2. I mean, there is the chance that you get somebody that wants to take and they have their eyes on a certain goalie for the first round, and you see that, but to me, it really depends on, does the first selection trigger an immediate second selection? And if it does, I think the double pick creates the panic. And so that's what I'm curious to see, if that occurs, or if people are confident in who they have ranked on their board and they stick to their plan and they still try to draft their goalie. I would think most goalies would be gone by round 3. That's my gut. But I've seen some crazy drafts, especially last year when goalies were drafting. We are not hearing loud and clear. All right. Sounds like we're good on the sound right now.
Yeah. So, and I'm hearing sweet. I see Bill asking in the chat if we are hearing sweet, and just so that you're aware, Bill, us following the picks doesn't have to be as tightly to the live picks that are happening in the room. We're just here to analyze the picks as they pop up for us, which is going to be at the same time everybody else sees it when they're watching YouTube anyways. So we'll do our best to talk about as many of the picks as they can. The first couple rounds move quick. So I would say be ready for a couple of picks very quickly to start the first and second round. I also, I think Brian and I will do a good enough job as best we can to go back and talk about anybody we might have missed. But overall, just keeping an eye on that YouTube channel for your picks will help with seeing when and where, and help us make sure that we're as balanced as we can be with the live draft that's happening. Should be starting any minute now, actually.
Yeah, I would think so. I just double checked. I opened the YouTube again, so if you're getting feedback, maybe that is the cause. But no picks in yet. The draft was supposed to start at 8:00. It is 7:59, so we are still ahead of schedule. Look at that for the league. Oh, here we go. All right, we have access now. I see the live doc.
All right, I'm going to swap over to that too, because that will move a little quicker than our in the YouTube feed. So first pick is now a draft order is always really interesting. Kyle opting to go with the first pick of the draft. I think we can read the tea leaves on why he did that and what he's looking to do. And then Sweet. It's interesting how John and Jeff is Sweet for those that don't know.
went with the last picks of the round, essentially lessening the hurt that being a first round draft pick takes on their team with that. So makes sense strategy wise for them to do that. But it also means that you got a really tough decision to make on goalie or a supporting floor member on that, because you're waiting quite a while to get it around to the end of round 3. So to me, a lot of interest is going to happen there in the draft.
Actually, if you want to backtrack, because you did a pretty good job of touching upon it a little bit, for those of you who are tuning in and are new to the league, Brian, why don't you describe how the draft process works in terms of leading up to seeing the order that everybody sees on the screen, how that's determined?
Yeah, so essentially we typically have a random draft of captains, and from there, those captains, depending on that random draft order, get to select their location where they want to draft. So I believe Sweet had the first pick of selecting his draft position. So with that, he took the 8th position within the draft. I think that gives him last pick when it comes to team name, correct?
Yeah. So what Brian's saying is when they draw the captain's names out, or a number for that captain, that is the order in which they choose where to draft, not where they are drafting. But by getting the first choice of draft location, Sweet ended up with the last choice for team name and color. At least traditionally, that's how we've done it. With the goalies, we kind of tried to do it a little different. Some of the goalies had like jerseys. They wanted to make sure their color matched and all of that. So that was a little bit different, but usually first pick of draft location gets last pick of team name and color, and everything works in reverse of one another going from there.
Now, who's your favorite team name as we're waiting for this first pick to come in? For me, it's Dump and Chase Pickens. I love Bosa's choice for his team name.
I really do also like Dump and Chase Pickens. That one stood out to me, and I'm a big fan of Goals R Us. I heard there's some controversy there. There's going to be some season-long rivalry happening because someone else had equally wanted that name. And I gotta give, I do like Kyle's callback to Napster. That stood out to me a little bit too. I like that.
Yeah, very good choice. I mean, Blockbuster, I think we all knew Blockbuster was going to be a team name at some point here. Bill Smith going with the classic car here. I mean, there was some Oldsmobile talk in general earlier today, but he goes with the Pontiac Firebird as his. And honestly, I think John Huron's is a sleeper. I love Bugaboo Creek Freaks. It's very. I like the Canadian nature of the.
You know what it makes me laugh is that it was really clearly, I don't know which one came first, but it was really clearly like a competition to Outback Steakhouse, and they're like, what other country can we theme our restaurant around? And they're like, oh, why not like rural mountainous Canada, like. Yeah.
I mean there's not a ton of those, so I mean it was a unique venture that they took. It just never took off. I don't even know if I ever ate it at Bugaboo Creek.
Let me ask you real fast before we get started, if you had your choice of team name, what would it have been, Steve?
Oh man, I don't know. Because I wasn't a captain, I didn't put a ton of thought into it. I will say I do love Anders' backup choice of Circuit Selly. That to me, that probably would have been my favorite one out of them all. So I appreciated that idea that he went with. What about you?
Before I'll answer, but before I do, anybody in the chat, the general chat, feel free to throw out if you were captain, what team name would you have gone for this defunct business themed season? For me personally, it might have been a deep cut and it might have been an inside joke, but I think I might have gone with like Kazi's Kitchen's Wristers or something like that, like a nice Kazi Kitchen reference. So
yeah, and I know he was championing for that in the off season. That or maybe it was you that was saying if we don't have a Kazi's Kitchen team, then shut it all down. So I guess we didn't get it. There was other choices on the board, but
another one that would have I think been tugging at the heartstrings of those of us who have played in the RFHL long enough to go back to when we were playing at the Y on Monroe Ave. We had this team name not too long ago, but an Acme Pizzas would have been a nice callback, bring back. Also, hey, Beers of the World closing. Like what?
Yeah, well, the one location, they're keeping the Batavia one open for
yes.
and Yadi's keeping the. Now, Kenton just said Quasi's Quiznos as a double as a double team name. That's I like that. That's a good one.
That's good. I also see Kazmark said Ames High, and I like
that's a great one.
Yes, I love that. That's so good.
Oh, that's good. I like that one too. So. Yeah, we could have done like some Phase drugstore. I mean, there were so many video stores too. I'm coming up blank on a lot of my defunct closed businesses that tug at people's heartstrings. So
yeah, no, there were definitely some great team names. It's hard to pick the best one. I'm always a sucker for whenever you can also incorporate some sort of pun, especially like a hockey pun. So Dump and Chase Pickin, that might be my favorite. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, there just other ones that could have been pulled from Borders Close. So you got Pier 1. I'm just doing a quick Google search while we're waiting. Gadzooks could have been something there with Gadzooks.
Yeah, a little more recently, Bed Bath and Beyond closed. Could have done some sort of like Bed Bath and Beyond thing.
And back in my day, that's where you got your scan gun. That's everybody's wedding registry was there. Now I'm showing my age. Like,
that's right. Well, hey, we're going to be rolling in here any minute, and it looks like we are. There it is. The draft has now officially started. Kyle Antilla has made the first selection of the draft. No surprise here for me. I don't know if you feel surprised at all yourself, Brian, but Steve Ledoux is first off the board. Last season, Rookie of the Year. Last season, League MVP. Last season was a part of the record-setting, first ever perfect RFHL season. Steve Ledoux first off the board.
Not a surprise at all. I could have called that at the end of last season. I mean, Steve Ledoux, one season in, he's already 91st career points for the RFHL in just one season. Pretty phenomenal. He's going to quickly go up the draft board on that. And it's shocked. Can't believe Conco didn't go first. I know. Such a sad rigged.
Hey, I don't make the rules. The sound plays when the pick goes. So we're on the second one. Finish your thought though, because we can talk about this in a second.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody knew Steve was going to go first. And honestly, the second pick here, every one of my mock drafts had Brad going number 2 in here. Brad and Rob as a team is going to be a really good scoring combo. Rob, I always think, is completely underrated when it comes to his talents within this league. And that leads into the third pick that was probably third in 5 out of 6 of my mock drafts was Mike Verlano going number 3. So I think these first picks are going to go pretty fast. Most people already have them locked and loaded. Look at that. And here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna speed up here and give you a momentary break because again, that first round's gonna move. But I too had Brad going second. In the 3-4 spot where Furlano went, and now John Gilsonen takes Jake Schmalley with the 4th overall pick. This is where I kind of started to swap in and out. There were like 2 or 3 different guys that could swap in and out. I did kind of think for a moment maybe Anders. I had like 1 or 2 mocks where he might have taken Jake instead at that 2 spot, but
whoa.
Yeah, I go ahead. Catch him up.
All right. Well, I think we talked about a weird twist, and you and I were chatting. We thought, hey, what could happen if you said there could be a chance I go in a weird spot? But I think you were thinking. I don't think you were thinking here. But yeah, I mean, you going first rounder, congrats, sir. I think it's well deserved. I think you are I think you're you have well earned that position as from my experience with you on Firestorm. So, I mean, Reddit and Jake in their positions again, most of my drafts had that top 5. I did not have any drafts where you were going number 1. I had you going in the second round after a slight goalie run. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, you know what? First, I do want to say that I'm equally just a little bit surprised and humbled. I think John Huron is one of the most class act RFHLers, and I've never had a chance to play with him. Even as a goalie, I haven't had him play in front of me. So I am so excited to get a chance to play with John going into this season. And just backtracking, Bill Smith taking John Redditt. Redditt, he's usually a 4 or 5 guy. Sometimes, can be as high as 3. So Bill picking probably one of the most solid choices he could in that spot. And certainly somebody that I think Bill's going to play really well with. And then, hey, here we go. That first goalie is now off the board. You heard the sound. John Foss took himself in the first round. Sweet took himself in the first round. We're starting the second round here. So Sweet is making his first pick, his first real pick of the draft. And we've got a goalie off the board. And
so, yeah, I mean, honestly, I had Sweet picking Mark in a good amount of my mocks. I thought that he would want to have that premier goaltender behind him prior to getting that role player, not waiting that long to get a goalie. I think that would be a pretty risky move, honestly, on his end to kind of wait to the end. And then interesting that John opted to go with some extra firepower, and man, that is already a scary combo right there with Shane and John on the same team. Shane is just I commented he had a beautiful goal in the rookie game. He's one of the few people I could recognize on the floor. So that's going to be scary. And now John Huron here's the goalie run. Now we're seeing the goalie run.
We are, yeah. So picking up where you left off, John Huron picking Brett. And I was just joking with Brett the other day about how he's another guy that I've always wanted to be able to play with and get on a team with. And now I get a chance to play in front of Brett instead of against him. That's going to be a lot of fun. But you're right. Here's that goalie run. It's very similar to where I thought it was going to happen. I did think Foss was going to take a goalie, so I'm a little surprised there. But Bill Smith taking Matt Makarchuk, who I made the joke with him or someone earlier that last season, Matt would have run away with the goalie of the year if I had not pulled out some sort of like throwback to my age 25 years of playing goalie, somehow pulled something out of my butt and played a great season. He would have been goalie of the year by far. So that is a crazy good pick to pair with Bill and John. We also have now Fish and Chips taking a goalie. So we've got Kaz off the board. So your top 4 goalies, I think most people kind of saw these guys as that top 4. They are now on the board. And Dan Thiesing making, I think, a really smart pick here to pair Furlano with Sean Petrie, who is, I think he was only a rookie 2 or 3 seasons ago at most. And
this is his 3rd season.
Yeah, so every single season he has gotten more and more comfortable. He's never been a very flashy player, but he's one of the highest hockey IQ guys out there. And playing him with a guy like Mike Furlano is very, very interesting.
Absolutely. So I mean, just to go back on the goalies, I had my goalie swapped a little bit there. I thought Brett I think the top 3 are all very comparable. I think Kaz is right behind them. I'm not surprised by that order. Sean has been phenomenal the last 2 seasons. I think I don't think he is necessarily a number 1, but when it comes to a number 2 player on the floor, he is phenomenal. And I'm always scared of his shot from far. And then Frankie had a great floor season last time. He was a first rounder last year. I think he's going where about he should go in the draft here. But man, Brad and Frankie's energy on the floor, that's going to be a scary combo as well. So I don't think there's any major surprises here, but it's interesting to see when you're doing these mock drafts and you're seeing the combinations, you're like, oh, that's scary, and now you're seeing the real ones, and you're like, okay, these are scary. I think all these teams are going to have really good parity this season. I think that's going to be welcome this season. Not making any comments, Ryan. But I think it's going to be welcomed, and it's interesting that some of this extra firepower that we're seeing on this end of the draft. I anticipate Kyle is going to go gold here, though. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I've noticed it slowed down a little bit, and I think part of that is that I think Kyle was anticipating at least 1 or 2 more goalies.
Oh no!
He did not go goalie. That sound is Kyle's pick. I'm surprised because I almost wanted to make a comment that Anders and Thiesing not taking goalies in round 2 might have been a killer blow for every team, including theirs, to let Kyle pair Leduc with a goalie that I think there's a sneaky good goalie choice coming up here. That he's still out there, so we'll see what happens. But
and maybe Kyle is leaning on the fact that, like, hey, if I got Steve who's averaging almost 7 goals a game, now granted, how much is that is based off of some of the extras that were your team last year, the components around him, but he's already stacking a team similar to that. But now we have the first rookie off the board with Rob's friend Al. I called this in our Firestorm chat. I said, Rob will draft Al. I did not have it going in the 3rd round. I do have a little bit of insider on Al. Do you want me to share it with you?
Sure. The only thing I'll say is I also had Rob taking Al, but I had picking him in the 4th. So this is an interesting spot here. And just before you
maybe there's some intel.
Yeah.
Maybe he has some intel that we don't know.
Just before you give us our insights there, Dan Thiesing has taken Jake Shelton. So he's passed on a goalie again. And so far he's got Furlano, Petrie, and Shake all at once, which is a very formidable floor. So, and then just real quick, Gilsonen taking Newberry now. So we've got a little break because Bill takes himself in this next pick. But boy, this is
picking up. This is not what I've had. So I'm curious at how this flushes out. Just real quick on that rookie. Oh, we got Jesse now.
Go ahead and go back to Jake. We can catch up on a couple of these picks.
All right. So going back to Rob's pick, according to our RFHL insiders, Al has some previous ties to RFHLers and has already joined the Discord. He's one of the few. We just saw one other join the Discord. I do not know who that is. So yeah, he's already been in the Discord. He has hockey experience. He is a San Jose Sharks fan. He has 2 kids and he likes cats. That's what I've been able to gather from Facebook stalking Al. He has also yet to figure out the meaning of 610 in the Discord, but that's okay. He's only been around for a day or a day and a half. So that's the insight on Al. No idea how he played in the rookie game because I had no idea who was who. But yeah, 3rd round. Congrats. That's pretty impressive for on the rookie side. A lot of times we say that I think most times rookies get drafted maybe a round less than they probably should in rookie drafts because there's always that hesitation of the unknown. It's tough to evaluate based off of one game. But I think Rob just knows something. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting because they certainly had chemistry in the Winter Classic, getting a chance to play together. I'm very, very curious what Fos does here with this pick because there's some options here, and it looks like he's got his pick in already. And I think this is a pretty good pick. He's been on an upward trajectory every single season so far. So John Fos has himself, Shane Ryan, and now picks Andrew Keller to pair here. So I'm very interested because not as many goalies gone as I thought so far. But certainly the teams that I figured would need goalies the most are still looking at a chance at drafting the guy they want, even though they waited. So,
yeah. So, I mean, kudos to them. I mean, maybe the risk pays off here. I think, honestly, these last 3 picks, all solid, all great middle round players that accentuate your team. Steve has an endless motor. I constantly laugh at him. I'm like, okay, which game are you playing? And he's like, I'm playing in all the games tonight. So he just is like nonstop. Keller has been steadily improving every season. I'm always impressed by his floor presence. And I mean, Jesse's been a veteran for the league forever. I mean, he's been, started in goal, moved over to the floor, and has been a consistent floor player for the past many, many years. And I'd say Jesse had some of the filthiest goals last season. Some of those stick handlings, your jaw drops, and he's like, how the heck did he do that on you? So all great picks right there. Your team's looking pretty good here, Huron.
I was going to make a comment about not having played with Jesse, but really disliking having to play against him when I'm in net because of some of the hands and goals he can score. And one of the things that I was going to say when I was, when I got picked early on was my first reaction was I know I've been getting better and better in terms of like balancing out my points scored and goals and everything, but I still wondered if I would have enough goals in my arsenal to be that one. And that pick of Jesse, it immediately is taking pressure off of me, because I think we're the both of us are good passers and can score, and I think it just opens up the ability to say not one of us has to have the game every game. I think he's a good pairing. I'm excited to play with him.
Yeah, I think you thrive when people are just in the right position, and so does Jesse. And I think that combo right there of back and forth, and then you have Huron anchoring on the defensive side too. That's looking like a good roster right there.
I'm really noticing the firepower that is Dan Thiesing's team so far. I'm excited to see what Furlano and Petrie look like together, and then Shake being, the goal scorer that he is. I think if you see those guys get together and start making some passes, they're going to be a very, very tough team to start with. So it'll all come down to seeing what kind of goalie they have behind them as well.
Now, looking at Sweet's last two picks, I'll tell you, I had Lasagna in that position in most of my drafts. I thought Sweet was going to take him as the supporting role. Sweet has won the championship multiple times with Steve on his team. And then George has also been a phenomenal player, coming all the way from Syracuse, and consistently shows up to. Best ability is availability. So I think that's a solid pick. Sweet, again, thrives on people that just know where to be on the floor. And he likes that run and gun style. So I'm not surprised with these two picks here.
Yeah. I knew going into this, several of my mocks had Sweet taking at least Lasagna in this swing. Both championships Sweet has won has been with Lasagna. I know he really, really likes the chemistry that's baked right into having him on his team. I'm very interested to see with this next pick. Fos has taken his goalie, which means we've only got 3 goalies left to be picked here. So the rookie Mike Prizzi going to Fos, playing with 2 defensive players in front of him, and then Fos's goal scoring ability. I described Prizzi, he was my goalie for Winter Classic, and I described Prizzi as a guy who would make Hasek-like saves at the most least expected moments. He was making some big saves in that ball hockey Winter Classic. It'll be interesting to see how he, shifts with the. Oh, I just saw the next pick that came in here too. It'll be interesting to see how he does with the puck, but I think the team in front of him is going to help him settle in that real fast. And hey, we've got our first Firestormer reunion here. So we've got Bill Smith taking Brian D'Angelo in the 4th here. What did I tell you? You were gonna. I said late 3, mid 4 was your range, and here you are. You're right where I thought you would go.
All right. Well, hey Bill, thanks for selecting me. I played. Matt was on my in goal. He was on the Chili Chompers. I've never played with Reddit. I played with Bill a handful of times. My first season ever in 2012 was with Bill on my team on the Fs. So I love playing with Bill. I'm liking the looks of this Pontiac Firebirds team, and I'm representing team colors now. So thanks, Mr. Smith. All right, and then and we have Dave King too. Dave King, this is a sometimes he's gone in the 3rd round, but I think King right there is a really solid, probably one of the perennial defensemen in this league. Is looking really good there with that firepower, the first 3 picks of that team.
Yeah, Dave King is a great pick for Dan because that's another defensively smart, puck possession, good forechecking player to pair with whatever goalie he ends up playing with. And then Anders takes the Alicorn, I think we've been calling him now. Shane, who has come off of his. I made a comment in the general chat that I think went really like under the radar a couple of weeks back, maybe. And I had said something to the effect, I was thinking about this. It has been 2.5 calendar years, not seasons, 2.5 calendar years since Shane Reisinger has lost a playoff game in the RFHL. That is just bonkers.
And he won the Winter Classic.
Yeah,
this season.
I know.
It doesn't even take an off season.
That's
so
why
it's
I said 2.5 years. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's some
kingmaker or something.
Seriously, but again, 2 teams here. Well, we'll see what Kyle does here at the turn. But you still have 3 teams that have not select goaltenders yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this nets out. And Anders would have to wait all the way to the 6th round. So, yeah, interesting draft strategy here. But I think both of these teams are looking really solid. I mean, there are no chumps at goal in the league. And I want the union to recognize what I just said there. There are no chump goaltenders in the league, okay? So but at the same time, there are certain goaltenders that maybe are more consistent than others. And I think that's what you're seeing on the consistency side. So interesting here with the latest pick that just came in as well. Kyle adding a little bit of bulk to his team here with the Sidor pick. You know, Sidor, again, has that energy that Kyle has, can run and gun all down the floor, but will throw the elbows in the corner too. So love Sidor, great guy, tough competitor. And speaking of which, maybe not the same build, but has that same feist as Glenn Fridman here. We have the first Fridman off the board at the start of the 5th round here.
Two picks back to back that are contrasting styles, but in a complementary way. Sidor is going to be your grinder. He attacks pucks. He does not back down from a battle. And Glenn has increased every single season. I've been complimenting to others and Glenn when I can that his hockey IQ has been going up and up and up and up. He's been making the right runs. He goes to the right places. He really has convinced me that he's starting to feel the game of hockey, not just play the game of hockey. So Glenn is a great pick there. And then while I was talking, Dan Thiesing, who has now made it very clear because he picks himself in round 6, that he is punting his goalie decision to the hockey gods and taking whatever random draw he's going to get in round 7, that bonus round, which is redrawn randomly. It is not part of the snake draft. Dan Thiesing has taken John Chatterton, and this is getting very interesting because that is a grinder player who has a great shot. I think he's a good pick for Dan there.
Yeah, I love Chatterton. He's again probably one of the kind of founding members of this league. And now we have Fish and Chips taking the 2nd rookie off the board in Matt Rockefeller. So again, I can provide the insight that I have on Matt if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it.
Right now, yeah. Again, according to our RFHL insiders, Mac Rockefeller is either an Eastridge High and SUNY Cortland grad and a man obsessed with the movie V for Vendetta. I'm not sure which Matt Rockefeller it was. There's also another Matt Rockefeller that is a goateed stud who has traveled the world back in 2019, but he hasn't been seen since then, except for tonight's rookie game. It's also possible he comes from very old money and smells like rich mahogany. None of these are confirmed yet. I don't know which of these is the Matt, but that's what I have on the Matt Rockefeller intel so far. Oh, and we got our 3rd rookie here, and Brian McDonald being drafted to the Pontiac Firebirds here. Again, I'll give you my insight on Brian McDonald. Again, according to RFHL insiders, he is the 2nd active Brian in this league, 4th to ever join throughout the history. If Brian this season scores 2 goals, he will surpass Brian Marvin to be the 3rd top scoring Brian in RFHL history with just simply 2 goals. Brian Marvin has 1 goal in the 5 games he played in this legendary run in this league. Brian McDonald is a native of Long Island and a prime source for food recommendations in the Big Apple. I know this because I talked to him during the Winter Classic. He gave me those when I was in New York this week. He is also not the same Brian McDonald that Bob Kenton and I went to college with, who was a Revolutionary War reenactor. So don't be confused with that Brian. This is Long Island Brian. And that's the info I got. And now Haran is filing out your team here. We have a bold prediction that has happened here, 2.0. The Haynes family there's been a divorce. There's been a split in the family, a rift, if you will.
Ironically, I called this. I said Bob and Brad would not be on the same team, to which Bob replied, "Then you can drive me to the games." And now I'm on his team. So I guess that's going to be harder for me to avoid at this point. Could be driving all the way from the east side to the west side to pick up Bob just to go to the north side.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, I think again, we're talking about floor presence and knowledge of where they are on the floor. That's a great other pick for Bob on your team. Bose going with the next rookie with Justin Seismanek. I apologize if that is not the right pronunciation. Again, from rookie standpoint, based out of our insiders, Justin is a local business owner. He's an admiral fisherman. He is an admirable fisherman. He is a cyclist and a motorcycle enthusiast. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. If not, he is a 300-pound trash collector from New Jersey who likes anime. So one of those two is it. But again, John Fost taking Justin the rookie in the 5th round here of 31st season. What are you thinking about these rookies here? A little bit of a rookie run going here.
It's hard to tell. That was the other thing is I had some people asking me about the rookies, and I said, well, it's one thing to say last season I got a good look at them, and I was paying very close attention to them, and then ended up drafting 3 of them and as my first 3 floor player picks. But this season I didn't get as good a look at them, so it's hard to know exactly what you're going to get from what we saw on the rookie game that was streamed live, especially since it was hard to know who was who. But I'm very interested to see them out there and see how they fit in. I see Sweet is making his picks now. He's gone with Brendan Sillick, who was a rookie last season. And I think he's going to fit really well with these guys. This is going to be a great growing season for Brendan because he's playing with several players who play smart and who have a lot of structure to the way that they approach each game plan. And that kind of confidence and that kind of play is the stuff that rubs off on players like Brendan, who I saw, a guy who was really willing to do what he could to help a team and learn the flow and the feel of RFHL hockey.
Yeah, Sweet's a good coach. I think he's going to be able to kind of help orchestrate that floor there. Brendan really kind of picked it up and found his knack near the end of last season on our Phoenix Coyotes team. So I'm not surprised by the position of that pick. I think it's a great position for him to be in with that team, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he evolves because he's one of the nicest guys in the league. Kind of the quiet gentleman of the league there, followed by I guess Kurt. I wouldn't call Kurt a quiet gentleman. He's a gentleman, but Kurt gets the next pick at the turn. Kurt Burnell, one of the most amount of he's at 28 seasons in this league. Kurt, love Kurt, absolute pillar of this league. And honestly, Kurt's his game has evolved a lot too. He was on your team last season. What do you think about Kurt's play as of late?
One of the things I kept telling Kurt all season last season was how impressed I was with him adopting the mindset of what role does this team need. And usually he's gone into most games, as we know by his nickname, Cannonball. He just kind of goes out there and bounces around and does his thing. But last season, I really saw a player who started to understand what a team might need in terms of his style and his approach. He was very willing to sit back. He was very willing to find a chance to make that defensive play as his first thought. And what I was most impressed with him about, I think, was that he was okay with not showing up on the score sheet. He was okay with saying, I know what I know what my contributions are, and they're not going to be on the stat sheet, but they are a big reason we won that game. He made some great plays last season because he adopted that mindset.
No, absolutely.
So we've got Fose's next pick in. His 6th round pick was Mike Curry, another hockey IQ, longtime player in the in the hockey circles. Mike Curry, he's got a lot of hockey IQ. I got to play with him in the Winter Classic, and he does play with a smart mindset in terms of knowing kind of where to be and when to be there. And then Haran taking John Blotzer is one of the sneakiest good hockey players in this league. I am regularly surprised that he is not a perennial, like late 4, early to mid 5 kind of pick. He hustles. He really attacks a lot of pucks. He's got a great kind of nose for the net. But I really see his impacts being his kind of just endless running. He really runs and plays that game with a lot of speed.
Yeah, Blotz. I had Blotz on the Chili Chili Chompers team, and he is just he's just scrappy. I thought he was such a great addition to that team. He fills out any team. He's posting up in front of the net, screening, putting in the rebounds. K-Flow now going to the Pontiac Firebirds. I'm looking forward to playing with K-Flow again. It's been quite a few seasons since I've gotten to play on this team. But again, great person on defense, has great outside shot, been in the league forever, roughs whenever he's not playing. K-Flow, great addition to the Pontiac Firebirds team. Oh, wow, and now we're zooming here. All right. Next pick with Adam Dalton. Adams, I think he's a Bills fan with some decent seats at the old stadium. He's also a fisherman. I don't know, or he's just not on Facebook. There was not many Adam Daltons, so I don't really know who Adam Dalton is, but he goes to Fish and Chips, the Blockbusters. And then we have the run of 3 goaltenders right there with Fridman, rookie goaltender, going into Anders' team. Again, I think Paul is going to be, we've had some conversation about this. I think Paul's going to actually really grow into his own as a goaltender. He subbed for Alex this season in the Winter Classic and did a phenomenal job against John Foes. So I think he's going to do really well there. Brandon going with the last pick of the 6th round. That automatically makes Kenton go to Dan's team with the 7th round pick. And now we get the randomized draw as it fills out from here.
Yeah. So I've lost track of being able to keep the sound going here because it
just keeps going now
instead of order. So we're just going to keep flying here. So Sweet Meat takes Rob Maston. He's got 3 COJ members on his team here all at the same time. Maston, a great lane clogger out there. John Haran getting Ellen. It's so funny. I was just talking with Ellen in the off season and how she's one of those players that I really want to win a champ. I really want her to get a championship. I really want her to get a cup. She goes out there and she gives it everything. She might have, without a doubt, she might be that Heart and Soul Award, which is now a defunct award, defunct business, defunct award. The Heart and Soul Award might be Ellen, hands down, every single season she's been a part of this league. And she just fights for everything. So I'm really liking some of these round 7 picks. I know it's a random draw. Hey, you get to what did I even predicted this. He's turning this.
I love it.
I said Bob and Brian going to end up on the same team, the Bob and Brian, and then they're either going to not pass to each other off a principle or they're going to pass to each other too much and nobody's going to shoot because they just want to up their assists total.
Oh, I love it. It's been a while since I got to play with Bob. So no, this is good. I love seeing that. Actually, I think maybe the last time I played on Bob's team, we were red. It was the Roberts Redhawks. So all right, and then AJ going with the last pick. So again, we don't know much about AJ on the rookie side. All we know officially is that he plays with Brandon, and and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's the draft right there.
Yeah, that was maybe not as wild as a goalie draft, but certainly there were a few surprises in there. The goalie run was not as pronounced as I thought, but I certainly expected the top 4 guys to really be going where they did or somewhere close. I saw a few surprises in terms of, for example, Anders taking Al in the 3rd. I thought maybe he might have gone goalie there, although I will say, as a goalie, as a connoisseur of goalie technique, he got a steal with Paul Fridman, who is earning his goalie union card this season. I think Fridman has a chance to be maybe the steal of the draft in that spot as a rookie goaltender, because once he gets a feel for it, especially with the team in front of him, I think he's going to feel a little more comfortable as the weeks come along, and might play well above that 6th round draft spot.
Absolutely.
I was also quite surprised. I think with maybe Gilsonen taking a little bit of a page out of the Master Vader's book, and he took 2 rookies. I thought we were going to see 1 rookie on each team at most. I didn't think we were going to see multiples on the same team, so that'll be very interesting as well. I know Matt myself personally. I'm excited that he's in the league. I think he's going to be a good addition. I also think he's going to be a sneaky good pick in that 5th round. But it will be interesting to see how he compares to some of those other rookies, because again, we didn't get a super clear idea of which one was which watching that rookie game on the YouTube Live.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I think all these teams look really solid. I'm not sure if they have you checked to see if the YouTube stream is still going, or just curious while we kind of talk about these teams here on the back end.
I think maybe they might be taking our cue for that, but we can keep it brief. We can wrap things up here shortly. I guess maybe let me know what's a surprise that you saw, or what's a team that you really let's say this. What team do you not, when you look at that, what team are you not looking forward to playing against?
Oh geez. I mean, Anders' team is looking really good. Again, not knowing how Al plays, but that is just a tough team. When Anders is your 5th rounder, I think Anders as a 5th rounder is undervalued. Honestly, I think your team scares me on the side of having really good goaltending and just super good awareness on the floor. Ellen has been getting so good these last few seasons. So I think that has some scary nature to it. And also, too, Fos and Shane together right there, I think as a 1-2 punch on a team, that's going to be tough. So I think my biggest surprise, no true goalie run. I swore there was going to be a goalie run. I swore all goalies would be picked by the 3rd round. That didn't happen. So I think from there, the draft netted out a little bit different than I anticipated. So that was the biggest surprise to me.
I'll be interested to see if the Napster firepower will be able. The Napster team, the way that I'm looking at it, the way that it's built, is giving me major Tsunami Tactician vibes, and I think that's going to be, if you don't remember, that team was scoring crazy high, but usually out of necessity. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a similar shape out of that. If I had to pick a team that I'm really not looking forward to playing against, I equally think your team, Pontiac, is pretty strong. That Pan Amerks team, Sweetmeats team, he's got a lot of hustle. He's got a couple of good long shot type players. And then, of course, he's got Mark, who is, it's maybe coming off of a down season, but certainly never count him out from the running for goalie of the year and making a comeback.
Well, let's give Mark some due here. His team didn't give him too much support last season when he needed it. So I'm looking to see a bounce back season for Mark here and like kind of regain his top goaltending spot. especially with the team that Sweet has stacked out here.
I'm gonna save you a little bit from some backlash there. So for context, Brian that's a self-sizz a little bit here. He was on Mark's team, so he's not just telling some other team that, hey, you guys suck on defense and you didn't help Mark out at all. He's telling himself that. So don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that nobody comes at you there in the comments section of this one here. So, hey, I don't know what else there is to say about this. I know we've got, everybody's going to be excited about their teams. I think maybe the big things that I might say, especially for the rookies, but a reminder for everybody else, please, please, please keep an eye on keep an eye out for your team chats. All of your team chats will be up and running very shortly in the Discord channel. Usually, Commissioner Sweetmeat has the schedule posted this evening, if not first thing tomorrow morning. So please make sure, if you haven't already, check the Facebook page for the schedule. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Try to connect with your teams as best you can. And week 1 is right away next week, and we will be playing the season consecutively right out from there. There's no gaps that I know of, at least planned gaps in that schedule. So is there anything I forgot, Brian? Oh, hey, one other thing I might say, and then I'll ask you if I forgot anything. Don't forget the weekly podcast is going to be starting up very shortly. So myself and Anders and the Bob is joining the podcast producer crew this season. So we've got the Bob is going to be hosting weekly or hosting on the schedule for the podcast. So don't forget to look out for the weekly podcast on YouTube. Usually drops Tuesday mornings. So
yep, usually. And a few other things, just note that this is a volunteer league, so any way that you can help support, whether it's part of the broadcast team, doing stats, or reffing, make sure you get into those Discord channels and help and assist with that. Don't make Sweet ref his all 3 games that he's not playing, and let's be good and share the workload here. And PPE, make sure that you got your helmet or your gloves, your cup, whatever you need. Lots of injuries as of late, so let's mitigate that by wearing protection. So let's do that.
Yeah, great points, and I really like your comment about helping ref or even helping out with the broadcast. Every single game has a color commentator and a broadcaster. Additionally, we were always looking for stat keepers. And then, of course, if you're there for the 9:30 game, the last game of the night, just help clean up a little bit. Many hands make light work. It's a quick tear down when everybody just grabs 1 or 2 things and brings it to the corner or takes it down wherever they need to go. But great points, Brian. Thank you for remembering some of those. So I guess, hey, I don't know what else there is to say.
Let's carry it into the team in the general chat. Let these guys break down over there, get back home, and we'll hash out teams in our team chat. So I think that's it.
All right. Hey,
all right.
Each those rookies, what do we say?
Is it Wednesday yet?